So today we're diving into the fascinating puzzle of a man named Juggin, a character who is just defined of this massive conflict between what he says and, well, what he actually does.
This right here is Joggin's guiding philosophy. It's really the core of who he thinks he is. It's this powerful statement about discipline, about mastering your own desires, and you better believe he tells this to anyone who'll listen, carefully building up this image of himself as a wise man who's above it all. And here it is. This is the big paradox we're going to unravel today. How can a man who is so dedicated to conquering taste also be the most famous sweet maker in the entire town? It's like the sage versus the shopkeeper, and they're both living inside the same guy. All right, so first, let's build the case for Jagan the ascetic, the man of principle. He's a really dedicated follower of Gandhi's teachings. And, on the surface, his life seems to be a perfect reflection of that. I mean, just look at how far he takes this. It's not just one or two things, it's his entire life. He's given up sugar, the very thing he sells for a living, for honey. He's ditched rice for simple wheat. He even spins his own yarn, making sure he never owns more than two simple sets of clothes. This is a guy who seems absolutely committed to a minimal life. And his principles, they go even deeper. This quote just shows it brilliantly. It's all about his commitment to nonviolence. He refuses to wear leather from an animal that was killed for it. He actually goes way out of his way to find a special cobbler who will only make his sandals from the hide of animals that died of old age. And this is the picture he shows the world. He's surrounded by all these sugary treats, but he's just sitting there, completely absorbed in the holy scriptures. This is Jagan the philosopher, a man who looks totally detached from the business world all around him. But is he really? Okay, so let's completely flip the script now and look at the other side of Jagan. Meet Jagan the businessman, shrewd, successful, and very, very engaged in his work. Well, so much for the detached sage, right? From his special chair, strategically placed in the shop, Jagan isn't just some guy reading a book. He's a king. His employees are his subjects, and the money that comes in, oh, that's tribute. This one quote completely changes how we see him. He's not a passive observer. He is an active ruler of his little kingdom. And believe me, he is anything but a hands-off manager. Even with his eyes supposedly glued to his holy book, he's listening. The second the sound of frying in the kitchen stops, he's shouting, "What is happening?" He yells at his staff if they're not moving fast enough, and he orders beggars to be sent away. This isn't how a detached philosopher acts. This is a meticulous and, honestly, a pretty stern boss. This little detail is just so revealing. Unsold sweets cause him actual physical discomfort, like a splinter in his head. That's not a philosophical problem. That's a business problem. The thought of lost profit literally hurts him. So clearly his mind isn't just on scripture, it's very much on the bottom line. And now, this is where the puzzle gets really interesting. We're about to peel back the deepest layer of his contradiction, the part he keeps hidden from everyone. You see, this was his sacred hour. Not for prayer, but for profit. After the busiest part of the day was over, he'd start this ritual of counting his money, and he did it like an artist, his fingers just flying as he sorted through all the coins and notes. And here's where we see the deception in black and white. Jagan kept two sets of books. The official ledger, that was for public display, for the tax authorities. But then there was the small, secret notebook. That was for all the cash that came in after 6 p.m. This was his private, completely untaxed stash of money. This is just an incredible way to justify what he's doing. He doesn't see it as tax evasion, no. In his mind, this hidden money is pure, it's special, it's an immaculate conception that just exists outside the normal rules of society and taxes. It's the perfect example of him creating his own moral code to excuse his action. So, with all these pieces of the puzzle laid out, what are we supposed to make of Jagan? The simple living follower of Gandhi, the sharp businessman, and the secret tax evader all wrapped up in one person. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, back to his own philosophy. We've seen him conquer his personal taste for things like sugar and rice, sure, but what about his taste for profit, his taste for control, or his taste for secrecy? And that's really the big question his character makes us ask. Is he a total hypocrite, or is he just deeply human? Maybe he's just an expert at putting different parts of his life into different boxes. He's built this wall between his spiritual self and his material self, And honestly, he seems to live pretty comfortably with both of them. In the end, what Jagan's story really shows us is that the most complicated systems we ever create are the ones we build to manage our own contradictions. His greatest creation wasn't some confection of flour and sugar. It was the elaborate, sweet story he told himself about his own righteousness, a story that allowed the sage and the shopkeeper to live in the same body. And it kind of leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How many of us are vendors of our own convenient stories?